I went into the tank and it was so incredibly relaxing.
You're in kind of this saltwater bath and you have no sense of gravity, and it does really feel like a safe container where you can center yourself, but in a different way where you're not tethered to anything else.
The floating just gave me a sense of how stressed I was and also of how relaxed I could be.
With something like floating, there is a reservation. There was for me at least. I can't swim, but after I went in there, what I found was this extraordinary peace and this silence and a strength inside of me that I really needed to feel in that moment.
I was really unsure about going into a space and going into this tank. I had all these thoughts of what could happen, what could go wrong, but you're there for yourself. Probably one of the most nourishing, peaceful, kind things you can do for yourself is to disconnect.
I had a lot of injuries and pain in my lower back and my shoulders. I tried acupuncture, I tried physical therapy, and nothing really helped until I tried floating.
My favorite way to float is really full sensory deprivation. So no sound, no sight, no light, just full kind of nothingness.
What's beautiful is there's different stages as well. You can listen to music or guided meditations or have the door completely shut or have the door partially open or have lights or no lights.
And the light is actually so aesthetically pleasing that sometimes it's just beautiful to lie down in the blue light.
I have ADHD, so sometimes when there's lights, I focus on that. So I need for it to be light off usually, but I'd say it depends on the preferences of the person.
At some point in the experience, it feels as though somebody's hit like a reset button.
You know, a massage is very visceral. You're getting, your skin worked on, your muscles, your tension is going away, and it's an active role where water is very passive. So every time you're hopping into that tank, it's like your muscles melt away.
It almost feels like you're falling asleep, but you're still very there and present and conscious because you're aware that you're surrounded by a bunch of salty water. But in that, there is this kind of like letting go and this surrender.
You're alone in the cocoon, and there's no judgment. You're just alone with yourself, and you feel a sort of euphoria.
The experience, it just really creates a lot of insight and awareness for the user to then take that information and apply it into different aspects of their lives.
The floating really gives me access to a more refined state of mind where I have the answers to things.
I would like to see a world where more people would go and use the baths, that would feel comfortable with being with their thoughts and just letting go.
Every single time you hop into that tank, you get so surprised by what comes up. And you have to surrender into the moment because what you get out of floating is much more than what you put in.
Everything just seems to be in this kind of synchronicity beyond human design.
I think I'd recommend for anybody, especially in this day and age, there's so much anxiety, and I'd say floating can help you with a lot of that.
It's kind of like giving yourself a hug. And at the end of the day, if you feel less anxiety, it's because of things you're doing for yourself.